Artur.
Power Memorial started in 1931. It was an abandoned children's and women's hospital. And Power Memorial at the time was in brownstones at 120th Street, together with another group which became All Hallows, and another group which became Rice High School. And they outgrew the four brownstones that they had at 120th Street. So they moved down and took over the abandoned Women's and Child's Hospital. And they used to play their games in an armory. And then there was this big move to get funds to build a gymnasium. And they did in the early 1950s, I think it was 1951, built the Gold Star Gymnasium. And it was really something to behold because of its location to Madison Square Garden. Now, visiting teams would come in, and the following morning, after a Ranger game, because it was difficult to turn over from ice to basketball, they would come and do their shoot-arounds. And what they would do is for the PE classes, the physical education classes, they would suspend them. So the students would be in the stands watching these incredible pros do their shoot-arounds. And then as Joe Isaac said, also some of the great college teams that would be coming in would do their shoot-arounds and do their drills. So the exposure that the students had, and then the basketball team in particular, to seeing pros in their gymnasium, greats like Bill Russell and Lakers greats, Jerry West and Elgin Baylor in their gymnasium was incredible. I mean, you were really up close and personal, and you would see how they would do their drills. And then we wanted to imitate them, but our coaches, we had such great coaches. That was the incredible thing. The people that Power Memorial drew to it, be the brothers, the Irish Christian brothers at the time, and supplemented by the wonderful lay teachers, some of whom you've heard, Jack Donahue taught earth science, and as did and maybe some mathematics too, as did Dick Percadani, who came and he coached here, and he was a teacher, but then also a coach, and Dick Percadani played at Power Memorial after having then went and played at Georgetown, and then came back as a teacher, and then eventually came to Milano, and then to Varese also.
I almost forgot another assistant coach at Power Memorial Academy. It was called Brendan Malone.
Yeah. So Brendan Malone, we had an incredible group of teachers and coaches who all acted in loco parentis. And that was the thing that, they treated you as basically what they would treat their children. And you were student athletes, with the emphasis being on student. If you didn't get good grades, then they didn't want you playing. Okay. So you had to be both. And we were fortunate to have people like Joe Isaacs ahead of us whom we could imitate and copy and see how they played, how they comported themselves. Joe's conduct in the classroom and around the school was very impressive. And I always say that Joe, if they had a mayor of Power Memorial, it would be Joe Isaac, because he had a winning smile. He still has that winning smile today. And on the court, they have a term called a tweener. He's in between. He's not a center. He's not a a power forward. He's something in between. And most times they use it in a pejorative way. But I look to say, watch out for the tweeners because they will kill you either way. They will take you outside and they will burn you if you put a big person on them. And if you put a small person on them, they will take you inside. And Joe would burn people inside. So you were in trouble trying to guard Warren Joe Isaac. And the tradition continued. We had a streak when I was there as a junior, Kareem as a sophomore. And the progression that he made from freshman to sophomore year it was geometric. It wasn't arithmetic progression. It was geometric. He grew by leaps and bounds. We have a thing, and figurative and literal leaps and bounds. And the progress he made was unbelievable. And we started a streak when I was a junior, he a sophomore. And when 2.5 years, we had 71 consecutive victories. And in my senior year, we were declared the high school team of the century. Okay, best high school team of all time. That continued after we graduated. Now, Kareem went another half a year before they were stopped by DeMatha by 3 points in a game the score was 44-41. We beat them when I was a senior, and the score was 65-62. And we made 54% of our shots. So it was an extremely well played game. The following year was very sloppy, and the score, as evidenced by the score, 44-41, it was not as well played. But DeMatha says, the greatest game of high school team of all time was the game when they stopped Power Memorial Street. No, they're mistaken because the best high school game of all time was when we beat DeMatha by 3 points. And we were down a point with a minute to go and got the ball and scored. And it wasn't Kareem, it was Charlie Ferrugia who scored a jump shot to put us ahead one. They came down and John Bonner stole the ball and we went down again and Charlie Ferrugia hit another shot. So it was Charlie Ferrugia who made the last 2 shots that beat DeMatha High School in the greatest game of all time. So although Kareem put us in a position with a little help from me, but Kareem put us in a position to win, there was other people that stepped up, and it showed that we were really a team. So we were very happy with that result. Fast forward, I left, and Kareem left and went to UCLA. I went to Fairfield with a wonderful coach, George Basaka, who came here and played and coached in Bologna and in another place too. And he was just a wonderful person. So it's nice when you have great coaches, but off the court, they're even better people. And that was the hallmark that I had with our coaches at Power, with my coach, George Basaka at Fairfield, and then not to talk about Rubini and Gamba here. I mean, we're talking Italian dream team in my estimate, So Power Memorial was an extremely wonderful place. And in 1970, Len Elmore was All-American. Jap Trimble was All-American. And Ed Searcy was All-American. They had 3 All-Americans at Power Memorial on the same team. So that was a great team. And there's a little rivalry. My good friend, dear friend, Len always says, well, maybe our team was a little better than yours. And I said, yeah, maybe they were, but we're named the high school team of the century, but we give you your kudos. And they had another great coach, Um, uh, and afterward, another great coach came. You mentioned Coach yeah, Malone, Coach Malone, who then went to the NBA. So coaching and then drawing the right students and learning discipline and teamwork on the court. That's what it was about. And those are life lessons that you take off the court as well. Teamwork and discipline. And then supplement them with good studies, a good education. And that's what the Christian brothers were all about. Basically giving to the lower and middle classes the opportunity to have a better life through education. And that was, Pro Christo Regi is our motto at Powell Memorial. So, something that's very important to me, the Catholic education. So that's why I went there.
Aspetta, adesso facciamo.
Volevo solo controllare una cosa, perché
Mauro, dopo.
ho preso tutto sicuramente su questo due.
No, se fai qualche stretto anche di uno che guarda l'altro. Ok? Con questo, col tuo, con questo. No, non con questo. Questo lascia così.
Che mi ha stretto non posso andare.
No.
Vabbè, così.
Che
No.
io lo guardo mentre
Esatto.
e
No,
poi
prendi con
dai,
questo.
che mentre lui parla
Questo,
io lo
sì.
guardo.
L'importanza di Power Memorial dentro quella New York. Non so, Rucker Park, se vi lo trovate a giocare Playground. Io penso Rucker Park perché è vicino a Power Memorial. Rucker.
No, è
No?
150esima Street,
Ok.
Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium
Anche se-
zona.
ok. Comunque, se inserite il vostro ricordo di Power Memorial dentro quell'epoca di New York, ok? No, vuoi partire tu o lo stesso? No, come vuoi. Dimmi.
Prima faccio io e poi
Ok.
ascoltare.
Io poi posso filmare.
Sì. Vai.
Yeah, about 25 years ago, in fact, July before 9/11, there was a documentary that was done, the title of which was Powell Memorial Academy, The Legend of Kareem. It was a documentary about Powell Memorial and this great team that we had in 63, 64 season. And the documentary was put together and it came out the week of Thanksgiving after 9/11. So we're talking about third week in November after 9/11. And 9/11 was a very difficult time in New York. Psychologically, the city was down and very depressed. But then this documentary came out about the greatest high school team of all time, which was a New York City team. So you can imagine the pride that we had to do our part to bring the story of New York City and a great team that inhabited New York City in that time, and that was going out, and people could see that on their cable channels. So that gave us a lot of pride and a lot of satisfaction that we were getting the recognition during that time frame, not so much for ourselves, but for the city of New York. So that was very, very important to all our team members, and a great source of satisfaction to us that we were able to give something back for something we had done together years before.